So a couple of weeks back, I talked about 5 free plugins that you must have in 2024. I'll link it up here so you guys can go check it out. Out of those 5 plugins, there was one called Subs by Notonik. Now this was an all bass plugin. You have 808s to synth basses to respaces to sub basses to everything. A couple of days back, the owner of Notonik hit me up on Instagram and asked me if I could review his latest plugin called Notonik, which is related to Subs. So Subs was released first as like a teaser for its mother plugin, Notonik. They just took the bass and all its presets from the Notonik mother plugin and just made that into a standalone plugin called Subs to tease their upcoming bigger plugin, the mother plugin that I mentioned, Notonik. So now let me explain what Notonik is. So here's the plugin, Notonik 2, by the way. There was a 1, this is the second version of it. I think it has a very well-designed UI, and I think my favorite part is this preset menu. It looks like a music player. So before we get into the presets, let me just explain the basic UI. You have your classic envelope settings, ADSR, and then on the left side you have your volume cutoff, LFO rate, and LFO depth. And below that, you have your reverb, distortion, chorus, delay, and glide. Now, the plugin itself looks vastly different from the Subs plugin that I mentioned. Let's go into the presets. First off, you can see OG chord playables, OG chord progressions, and OG chord shots. So let me take this time to explain to you what Notonik 1 was compared to Notonik 2. OG chord progressions and OG chord shots are from Notonik 1. That's all the Notonik 1 had. It didn't have anything else you see here, the bells, brass, keys. It didn't have any of that. It only had progressions and chord shots. So what they wanted the plugin to be was, if you look at the OG chord progressions, if you choose that and you choose any random preset here, they wanted you to be able to hold down one note and have a chord progression play in that specific sound. So that's what the chord progression was. If you go to chord shots, you can see that it has the same names, so which is essentially the same sounds as the chord progressions. Chord shots means if you hold down one note, a chord will play. So instead of having to hold down notes to play a chord, you can play a full chord using just one note. And with that, we come to the end of Notonik 1. Now we move on to what Notonik 2 has to offer. In Notonik 2, they added chord playables. I explained in Notonik 1 that it had chord progressions and chord shots. If you hold down one note, you can play an entire chord progression. Or if you hold down one note, you can play a full chord. But that was it. That was all you could do with it. So chord playables, as you can see, it has the same names as the chord progressions and chord shots. And these are essentially one-shots of the other 2 presets, but you can make your own chords instead of having to rely on pressing one note for a full chord or a full progression. Let's move on to the next sounds. Bass, bells, brass, keys, pads, pluck, synth, textures. I don't need to go into the bass because, like I mentioned before, it's the same presets as Subs. Links to both the mother and the child plugin will be in the description, so make sure to check it out. So now we're gonna move on to bells. Listen to these presets. So what I meant to say before was that this plugin actually caters more towards the ambient genre, in my opinion, because it has so many ambient sounds. Let's move on to the keys. And the pads are some of the most ambient pads you've ever heard. if you just press and hold it and just let the sound play out, you can hear just how much time went into these sounds, that all the layering and the effects that each sound has. And now the lo-fi people are gonna love this. We have textures, not just any textures, some of the most unique sounding textures I've seen. We've all heard of rain, vinyl, city noises, but then have you heard an electric toothbrush? Or a microwave? Even a sink. So now using this plugin, I'm gonna make a lo-fi beat to microwave your food to. Start off with the microwave texture. Sounds like a very powerful vinyl sound, so it could work. Now, I'm just gonna make some drums real quick. So I laid down the drums, I sidechained the kick to the microwave sound, and this is what we got. Now let's lay down some keys. I'm gonna use the subs plugin to lay down a nice bass. I'm doing a lot of sidechain in the song. You can see there's already 4 sidechain because the sounds are very thick. The kick has to go through the sounds. I don't know what that's supposed to be, but maybe like a transition. Camel fat. I've been using camel fat a lot for like sound design stuff. And we'll end the whole thing with a lead. Okay, well, that's the beat. You know, being a plugin that you can use to play chords with just one note, I probably should have made a beat utilizing that, but I feel like people have made beats using that. So I just wanted to show off the other sounds that this plugin has to offer. Like I said before, it costs $30, but then just look at how many sounds and capabilities this plugin has to offer for $30. For those of you who regularly watch my stuff, the piano that I use the most is called Imagiro Piano. And that cost me $30. And that was just for a piano. This costs the same as that, but it has so many more sounds and so many more capabilities and functions to make producing easier. Now, the links to this plugin and its child plugin subs will be in the description. Let me know what you think of the beat and the plugin in general in the comments. Like and subscribe if you like this, and if you're new to the channel, I regularly make lo-fi tutorials and do plugin reviews, free and paid. If you like that sort of content, please subscribe. Yeah, I guess that's it. I'll see you next week.